everyone, welcome to another race in the WEC. Donald Bandel is on pole from Jensen Olsen P2. Thierry Headley is alongside from Davey Sergiera, Damien Castro, Livery, Ian Bablis, Marcus Adelaide, Daniel Boksarov, Lam Fong, UK Wall, Tom Dock, Carlos Eduardo, JD Venter, Paul Kareem, Carlos Fernandez, Garcia, Ultra Row, Felix Weber, and the bottom two, Tyree and Ocampo. So here we are, the 25% of Fuji 5 red lights to start this endurance race. And it's lights out and away we go. And I think it might be a good start from for Devento, it is, but in turn one, the outside line is not going to do him any well. Olsen down the inside, he takes the lead at the 25% of Fuji. It's 3 wide though from Olsen, Sergiera and Devento. Heading in towards the second corner, who's going to come out in front? Devento in the Alpine. It looks like he has, and he has. He's out in front from Olsen and Sergiera, who's got a penalty in that Toyota. As the Toyota will be looking to get down the inside of the Volkswagen. He does exactly that, moves up into third place with Thierry Headley in fourth, down the inside of Olsen, gets third place momentarily, but the Volkswagen will fight back. But however, Beyond the Reed is not going to be benefiting him at all, as he does drop to Headley, and Olsen also drops to Adelaide. Toyota in a secure position of a 2-4, which seems very good for them, considering that they've had awful races this season with number 7 and number 8. And here we are, Headley in the Porsche around the outside, can't get through on Sergiera. He might be doing this though to gain possibly a little bit more speed, but it's not worked out for him in the slightest. Adelaide right on the back as we're on lap 2 in Fuji. Although he loses P1, Sergiera now leads this race as Ocampo also picks up a penalty in P18. Tyree, who's now P2 in the championship, down to P21, which is dead last, as Versio in P20 moves up into P19. Felix Weber dropping to P21. However, he does take P20 back. Alpine, though, first and 20th, it's a very contrasting place for the Alpine team. As UK will dropping to Ultra Row, Ultra up into P16, Fernandez P15. As they're a little bit flying in the air, it's possibly just bits of rubber. Fernandez gaining 3 places there in the Power Motorsport. As the Devento continuing to lead, getting past Sergiera once again. Olsen, of course, he's down P5, it's not been the best start for him, but he's going to go for a move on Adelaide. Adelaide with the inside line once again. I think he might take place back, as it looks like he has. Olsen still not giving up though, as we are heading onto the back straight. Both of them enable DRS, but overall, Olsen manages to pull ahead. Devento fastest lap of this, and now that some of this stuff is, like some of these battles are starting to conclude, we can talk about what's happened for this race. So Wallace out of the WEC, Devento taking his place, moving from Volkswagen to Alpine, and he's been replaced with Volkswagen by Paul Kareem, which is the Red Bull team principal from Formula 1. And you probably wondering, why is there one Power Motorsport on the grid? Well, it's a privateer team, and Carlos Fernandez is the driver who will be driving for them this race. Who knows if Power Motorsport will return next race? We know they're at least in for this race though, so hopefully for him it's going to be a strong result. We'll find out though. So yeah, anyways, Devento will do really strong for his brand new team in Alpine, as he is just leading Sergiera, who will not be happy about the penalty. However, Sergiera can at least get the points finished out. We give him, and he is still yet to score points in the season, but he's going into the pits early, getting rid of the tyres, clearly thinking the undercut's going to be worth it. He already has experience with the undercut in Formula 1, and hard tyres going on for Ian Babadis, as towards the end of the pit lane, it is also hard for Sergiera, who's going to get rid of that penalty now, so he doesn't have to suffer later with it. I will be out ahead of Babadis or behind, well, we'll find out. As leaving the pits there, Babadis gets slowed down ever so slightly, but Sergiera nonetheless is out ahead of Babadis. So yeah, Devento now leading by 1 second to Thierry Headley, who will be struggling with the softs now. Them softs are gone at this stage. Olsen back into the podium places, Marcus Adelaide falling back. The soft tyres have lost their pace. It's very clear Headley leader of the guys on the soft tyres, Vandal leading the guys of mediums, Sergio leading of the hards. So Carlos Fernandez in 11th place. He's not seen the sport in a while. Well, he's not seen Formula 1 in a while. So he makes his racing return in the WEC for this race. Spaniard entering Cable's custom-made team. As Adelaide into the pit, Headley into the pit, so people on the softs getting their pit stops to now. Now, well, so Caribbean comparison, considering that you had the 5-second time penalty to go along with it. Of course, 5 extra seconds on the pit stop is very big, as Fenter and Tyree 17th, 18th. Tyree gets out of the pit lane. Where is Serracchiara? Like, there he is, and he's out ahead of his teammate Serracchiara in P12. Not ahead of Headley, but nonetheless, it's solid. P12 is solid considering that he is in a net second place. Barbados putting the pressure on, going for the attack by the looks of it. The Dacia right on the back of the Toyota. The Toyota staying ahead, and the Dacia can't make a move just yet. But Headley looking to be in the net race lead at the moment. Devenda and Olsen there in P1-2. They don't really need a pit yet, they can. Devenda staying out, Olsen also staying out. What about Daniel Voktarov? He's staying out, so people are clearly thinking it's worth it just to stay out, especially with the guys in the mediums as Castro taking the tyres to maximum. Like, he could not go in an extra lap. Same for Ocampo and Weber. Weber's in the pits, Ocampo's in the pits. That's going to make their job a lot easier as Weber holds up Ocampo. Sorry, that's not Weber, that's Livery holds up Ocampo, who holds up Weber. And out the pits comes UK Ball. So the BMW driver, he's going to lead the pits in a very low position. It's looking to be P20 possibly. No, P18 at the moment, as he gets overtaken by Tyree, who takes P18. UK Ball down at P19. The mediums are starting to struggle now at this stage. Headley is gaining a lot of time every lap. To them guys out in front. It's going to give him a pretty good lead at the moment. He's received a podium before in Formula 1 with Racing Point. Can he get a win in the WEC with Porsche team? Because Porsche, they failed in Formula 1. But here in the WEC, they're a pretty strong team. Now, they are 5 and 6, but for the person who's 5th, Ultra Row, leads to pit still. I think he's in the 92 car or the 91. I can't quite see which one he's in. He's in the 92, as Headley, who is the number 91, will pass by without any issues, and he's now 12 seconds back on Dominic Vendetto, who's on medium tyres. Just keep that in mind, medium tyres what he's on. Pulls between set to fast lap of the race in 11th place in the Volkswagen car. Right behind JD Fenter and Jensen Olsen. Yeah, like I said before, the leader of the hard tyres, it's still Davey Serracchiara. However, Barbados is right behind. He's been putting the pressure on all stint long in the 022 car. In the 022 car. And speaking of pressure, this might be a lot of pressure for Serracchiara as Barbados goes for it down the inside of the chicane. It does not work out. Serracchiara stays ahead and gets back onto the correct line. Adelaide right behind Barbados. He's still got some time to catch up, as Fernandez has made a lot of gains in these pit stops. He's up into P7 for the Power Motorsport privateer team. As Jensen Olsen going for the attack on the Spaniard around the outside. I don't think it's going to work. However, it's not working there, but it's going to work this time as it goes down the inside of the Spaniard, who comes to the pits after only 2 laps on the tyre. So something must be going on there down Power Motorsport to initiate a pit stop this early from being on that tyre. A little bit questionable, but Power Motorsport switching over to the hard compound tyre. He is going to be coming out the pits dead last in P21 as Ocampo passes by. There we go. So that is a second pit stop made for Fernandez. Of course, P21 dead last is not where you want to be when other people have to make a pit stop. This could be a very good undercut that is coming in play for him. As due to the slap is Thierry Headley. I don't imagine he can take the tyres in longer. Like, bro, look at this, 39%. They can only last 1 more lap at a maximum. So pitting now would be a very good idea. down at Porsche unless they feel they're still quicker than the ones on hards. Then they could do an extra lap, but we'll soon see what happens. As keeping the inside line and going into the pit lane goes Thierry Headley. Davy Cervera now leads this race from Marcus Adelaide, who's going to go down the inside of his fellow teammate. Brazil on Brazil, fighting in Japanese machinery and failing to get the move as Adelaide, but he's not determined to stop. He's not going to stop. He's determined to get the move, so he's going to try again. Obviously, it's failed. But once again, slipstream, it's going to be a very useful thing here at Fuji. As around the outside, Adelaide trying to get past Cervera. He went for a different line, the complete opposite line to Cervera. They're side by side, the two Toyotas. As they leave the chicane, David Cervera is still leading. He is holding on, but he's holding up, people. Fernandez in P19, but Cream far behind. Tyree even further behind. Now it's a shame because Tyree was leading the championship for so long this season. He's leading for 3 of the round, then at the end of round 4, he lost the lead to Lampong. Cervera keeping this lead. It is one impressive drive, finally taking his F1 skills and putting them here in the WEC. Adelaide will be due to make a move, and he's going to go down the inside. Cervera takes that inside line to cut him off, pretty much. But this time, I don't think it's going to work. Cervera is down the inside. Adelaide's got a firm grip, and he gets through into P1. The Toyotas have swapped. But now that they've swapped, what will happen with the pace of Adelaide? Will he go far ahead to lead? Well, it's looking like that. He's already leading by half a second. Doc finding Olsen. Olsen trying to make the attack as Bamness is struggling on the hard tyres. Dacia not having the best of times right now as Doc is just there in P4. Olsen gets P4 back. The winner of what's it called? The winner of Silverstone. That was the event I'm thinking of. In P4, showing that he's got pace. He managed to activate the pace just very late in the season. As there on the inside line, Bamness goes into the pit lane after doing 7 laps on the hards. As Doc passes by into the pits as well, come Jensen Olsen. So both Dacia and Volkswagen making a pit stop right now as we speak. Toyota still 1-2, but Adelaide not having the pace he would have hoped for. But nonetheless, Toyota could be on for a really strong result if all goes right. As people are going to come out the pits, Carlos Fernandez passes by them. And there we go. Bamness freshly made soft tyres. Freshly made, I don't know if that's true or not. He is on fresh soft tyres. And Fernandez, this could be the net race lead for the Spaniard, which would be absolutely insanity. That would be absolute insanity, that. But of course, you got to win your race on strategy. He'll be planning to make another pit stop, of course, later than everyone else. He is going to be going for gains toward the end of the race, I think. Which does mean that... Oh, sorry, no, he's not going to be going later than others for their final pit stops. In fact, if anything, he's going to be going before. There's so many people are making their final pit stops now, then he's going to be looking to get enough pace to gain on them a lot. So this might be a smart strategy down at Power Motorsport for Carlos Fernandez. If a privateer team could win this race, that would be absolutely insane. But of course, to win, you need to cross the checkered flag first. You need to cross the checkered flag, you need to cross the finish line first. I can't even see any corks right at all, as it's very clear and obvious there. As Eduardo dropping, also Eduardo getting past Livery in the F Corsa. He's right there with a 1-lap tyre advantage on Eduardo, which does prove to be really good around these tracks. Having tyre advantages, even by as little as 1 lap, can save you many seconds in a race. Sadly, around the final corner, I'm not gonna lie, the skies are getting dark, and when the skies get dark, rain falls, so there's still a possibility that rain could come as the Vandal pits for Alpine. and it's going to be for medium tyres. See, we've noticed rain before back in Formula 1, and it's always been when these skies get dark like this. Of course, the track appears darker, less sun. So yeah, drivers and teams have got to be monitoring this weather as Eduardo does get ahead. Livery going for the switchback. There, of course, is up into P2 as Adelaide continues to lead this thing. And yes, Fernandez has managed to get ahead of Serra. Now, Olsen and Bablis, they move ahead. Headley also moves ahead as well. And so Sebastian Ocampo, he might be able to make a move on Fernandez. However, I don't know if it's likely or not, because if you look, Ocampo's got 2 lap worse tyres. So I would imagine that Fernandez would be the quicker driver here. As Adelaide going around the final corner, he's hugging that inside line, but he's not going into the pits just yet. He is going to be going for a 10th lap as he's now officially completed 9 laps on that tyre. This is his 10th lap on it. And yeah, he has managed these tyres so well this race. As Eduardo comes in for his second stop of the day, the Golf moves on to mediums, Ocampo in P9, so there might be a little bit of a contrast between the teammates for now, until Ocampo gets into the pit box. Fernandez in P8 for Power Motorsport, just behind Davy Serra, who's been on them tyres for 2 laps. He's on his 3rd lap of that tyre. Now here's the thing, the net race leader, Thierry Headley, his tyres are going to start to wear out. Is this a good strategy by Toyota to get their driver out as long as possible? If it starts raining toward the end of this lap, it would be an absolute godsend for Toyota. But here's the thing, it's not looking like it. Not looking like it's going to rain. So around the penultimate corner, Adelaide might have to come into the pits. He might try and stay out, we do not know, but Thierry Headley is only 3 seconds back on Adelaide. Adelaide's staying out again, he's going for an 11th lap. On hard tyres, this tyre management though by Toyota is absolutely mental. It's livery pits for mediums. The softs are not worth it for the AF Corsa guys, as they've got 3 laps to go. Livery gets held up by Bablis and Olsen as Ocampo makes his second stop, also making his 3rd. Bablis also making his 3rd as well. Yeah, Headley now in clean air. It's now his chance to try and push for victory. And if he can win this, it will be absolutely crazy. Toyota not seeing success this season in the WEC. This race could be their race. This could be the thing that saves them in the championship. Fernandez being in P6, this is really good for a privateer team. As Tom Dock defends P5. No issue there for Dock defending. Of course, he's going to be much quicker, better tyre compound, and they're fresher as well, so that's an added bonus. Fernandez being in P6, it's solid, and Power Motorsport would definitely love to collect some points for only 1 car. We'll see what happens though, as once again Adelaide staying out, Headley closing in the gap. The tyres are 29%, they're going to start to go off. He needs to be extremely careful in these final 2 laps, and even if it's not a win, a podium would be just as good to the Toyota team, who would have extremely valued this result. Now, whereas the other Toyota, Davy Serra, the man has not scored points yet this season. The tyres are going off too much. He can't stay out any longer, or else he will be getting a puncture. So we've seen what teams are like. They decide to try and keep their drivers out. They've got punctures. Our Toyota are going to learn from everyone else's mistakes and just bring Serra in and possibly gain something, or are they going to keep him out and lose everything? But they're down to the final 21% in the tyres as the volumes went. This is not good. We've had these sort of issues before. Headley rounds the final corner. He's going to be chasing Adelaide onto the final lap of the race as the volume is back. Headley goes down the inside of Adelaide in towards the first corner as the Porsche now leads this race. Adelaide been on lap on the hards for 12 laps, Lampong 10 laps, Serkieva staying out 14%. Oh, they're not going to learn from everyone else's mistakes, I guess, as Tom Dock takes P4. Fernandez right on the back of Serkieva. Even at his tyres for 9 laps, Serkieva's been on his softs for 5. But at this stage, the hards are better than the softs when you put them laps as the values. Headley trying to pull away, he's failing to do so. Well, he's failing to pull a very good gap, but it's the last lap, so even if Adelaide does get the RS, it's not going to be enough for the Toyota to actually get past. As, yeah, it's now 5% for Serkiera. It's going to be extremely close, 4%. As round the final corner, Headley is going to do it for Porsche. He does it. He wins the 25% of Fuji. It's an incredible result there. As Demetto, he pulls through for P6 at the very end. Fernandez drops to P7. And Serkiera holds on for P5. So it looks like that was the better strategy in the end, to go for an additional lap on the tyre. The fact that it worked though was crazy. Disappointment for Fernandez as he loses that place there. Tyre P12 sort of a pointless race. And Toyota finally get on the podium, but Porsche P1 and P20 as Weber finishes it off in P21. And that was it. That is the end of the 25% of Fuji. No rain came. It was just a false alarm. Thierry Headley, a winner for Porsche in Fuji, and that is going to be absolute delight for this man who's had an incredible racing career. Podium in a midfield car in Formula 1 and winner with Porsche in WEC. Wow. Mark Adelaide P2, Toyota, first podium of the season for them. This could be the season saver for that team as Aston Martin gets Lampong in P3. That is also a solid result. I think he should still be leading the championship then. With only 2 rounds to go, this could still be anyone's championship. And with that done, let's listen to the Barbados national anthem. And that's it. Headley wins from Adelaide and Lampong. Tom Dock and Serkiera ran off the top 5. The rest of the bottom 10, the rest of the top 10 is Devendale, Fernandez, Eduardo, Venter, and Babilis. Also, we ignore the flag on Fernandez. That was just a mistake by me. It's meant to be the Spanish flag, not the Nigerian flag. Livery gets P11 from Tyree, Jens Nolson, Versio, Boxarov, Ocampo, UK Ball, McCream, Castro, Ultra and Weber. And that's it for the 25% of Fuji. We'll see you next time in China when the WEC returns. Have a good day and see ya.